Welcome back. Markets up 250 odd points. One stock in focus is Indiabulls Housing Finance. They've had some changes at the top level management. Let's go across to Gagan Banga. He's now with us. Board has taken some important decisions regarding changes of top management. What next for Indiabulls Housing Finance?
So I think from a corporate restructuring perspective, Indiabulls Housing today is a standalone company. The board is absolutely independent. In order to further augment the independence of the board, whatever overlaps were there at my level with other companies, they've also been sorted out, and I thank from all those other companies. So as we speak, Indiabulls Housing is a standalone financial institution. As part of our corporate strategy, what we are doing is we are looking at partnerships both at an operational level as well as at a strategic level. At the operational level, we have partnerships with 7 banks. On the wholesale funding side, I had indicated as part of Indiabulls 3.0 that we would recommence that. I'm happy to inform that one of the funds with a global real estate focused private equity major has already been approved by SEBI. Another fund has been applied to SEBI and should hopefully receive the necessary regulatory approvals in the first quarter. So from the first quarter of fiscal 23, those partnerships will also be in motion. On the retail side, the co-lending partnerships are already in motion. And we would be continuing to engage with institutional investors. Some new institutional investors came in when Samir sold 11%. The engagement with those and others is on. So I would imagine that during the first half of fiscal 23, you will see material presence of institutional investors on the board of Indiabulls Housing. So that's the direction at the corporate level that we are headed towards.
Scratch a bit further, sir. Samir Gehlaut, no other managerial position, but still the single largest shareholder. Any further dilution expected? Next round of investments by institutions possible?
So he's no longer the largest shareholder. Life Insurance Corporation is the largest shareholder of the company. And institutions, financial institutions are as a lot the dominant shareholders holding over 40% of the company. His shareholding compared to that is relatively lesser or smaller. He has indicated to both the board and his communication to the stock exchanges as well that he intends to remain a long-term financial investor. He has been associated with the company. He understands its potential, and therefore he has no desire to sell at this point in time. It's his personal equity. The company has no role or say on that. I'm just reading off the communication that he has exchanged with the board at the time of his resignation, as well as what he's filed to the stock exchanges.
Point is taken that he remains only as a financial investor on board, but you did hint about the fact that there is more investment which is possible from other institutions. So are you looking at a fresh round of fundraising, and what could be the amount?
There are a bunch of options being worked out. We would, in an ideal scenario, given our high capitalization levels, not want to have significant dilution at the holding company or the listed company level. We are working with bankers on a multiple number of options as well as with several funds. As soon as something gets firmed up, we will surely inform the market. At this point in time, it is still work in progress. But I can confirm to you that those discussions are at a drawing board stage as we speak. And as I already said, I am looking forward to significant institutional presence on the board in terms of their representation, which would obviously mean that their shareholding has to, one way or the other, materially increase.
Okay, so fundraising is something which is at advanced stages and there is more institutional participation is something that you expect. But will this be at a strategic level with a lot of decision-making power or only financial in nature? And as far as the entire leadership team is concerned, should we expect some changes to happen there as well?
So on the management side, I think this is a management team which has stuck together through thick and thin, and it is a management team which all the strategic stroke institutional investors are valuing. So there is no question of any change at the management team level. As far as the nature of the investor is concerned, there are talks on with both strategic type of investors as well as institutional investors who want to give a management greater flexibility. At the same time, there are investors who want to take strategic control. So I would say that these are still early days. There are a lot of regulations that we have to comply with. So therefore, it's slightly complicated, but it's not it's not an exercise which is impossible to implement. I would imagine that in the next 6 months or so, we should be able to come back with great progress being demonstrated on this front.
When we talk about the business, Gagan, can you talk about NPA, decline in profitability? What are the delinquency like, the latest on the business front?
So business aside of the month of January, which was impacted for practically everyone, given the COVID impact and all of that, February and March are turning out to be pretty good months as far as business is concerned on various aspects. So we continue to grow our retail disbursements. We continue to make giant leaps as far as technical integration with banks is concerned on the co-lending side, as well as we continue to run down our wholesale or the chunky part of our portfolio. On all three fronts, there is great progress, which makes me strongly believe that by end of this quarter, the AUM would have touched its bottom. And as I had indicated at the end of last quarter, from Q1 fiscal 23, we should be able to specifically set up a growth target. And over a period of time, the growth that we are targeting is 15 to 20%, which should certainly start coming in from Q1 fiscal 23. While the RBI since then has relaxed the implementation of the asset classification clarification that they have provided, the company continues to adopt the same and would not be going back. So NPA levels should be, as I've been indicating, in a range of plus minus 50 basis points of where they closed as of December 31st. So nothing to be overly concerned.
Okay, Mr. Banga, so the AUM seems to have bottomed out and you are expecting that the situation will only improve going forward. Thank you so much for joining us and making sense of the strategic changes which have happened at the board level. We'll let you go on.